Hello, my name is AG Billig and I welcome you to a new episode of the Self-Publishing Mastery Talks, the vlog that helps you successfully self-publish. Today we are going to speak about self-publishing as a business and about how you can go global with your books as an author. And I have a very, very special guest. Her name is Kinga Jentetics, and she was selected as one of Forbes' top 100 female founders, and also featured in 2017 on Forbes 30 Under 30 Europe Media list. She's a former marketeer with previous roles at Zurich Financial Services and McKinsey, and she's the founder of the very successful distribution platform PublishDrive. So PublishDrive is the newest and I think best solution for ebook distribution. PublishDrive is also a tool for digital publishing, which allows you to track your sales, manage the metadata, and your marketing activities. PublishDrive also manages the operative financials for you, including billing and collecting your money. Isn't it wonderful? So without much further ado, let's say hello to Kinga Jentetics, our special guest today. Welcome, Kinga. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks for inviting me to the show. PublishDrive was nominated in 2 sections at the Digital Book World in Nashville, which seems to be the Super Bowl of publishing, or that's how they brand it. So it seems to be a cool event. PublishDrive is in the data section as well, as one of the best companies who actually are doing something cool with data, with our sales analytics. And I was nominated in the entrepreneur section as well. So I was pretty much honored to be listed among the other great people who actually are featured there. And on top of that, we actually have 2 of our books mentioned in the book section too. So we are really happy that we could finally get some highlight on our books as well, because I think that's the main job what we have to do to make sure that our authors and our indie publishers are getting more successful and they get all the highlight as they should have.
First of all, I want to tell to our audience that PublishDrive actually started with you trying to find a platform that would fulfill your needs as an author for your thesis.
Back in 2015, I published my book on Amazon because it was available for me. But still, I had a lot of issues what I had to overcome. And at the time, because we started from Hungary, Europe, and actually Amazon wasn't available here, so in Budapest, in Hungary. It meant that if you wanted to buy a Kindle book or if you wanted to publish in Hungarian, then you didn't have the choice to do that. And that was one of the eye-opening facts for me, that, okay, although I published my book on Amazon and I could see that people were buying it from Mexico, from the States, from Brazil, still I could see that this is not the whole world, because obviously if Hungary is missing out, then there should be a lot of other platforms where I'm not available. So I looked at, okay, what can I do? What other platforms are out? And I had an Android phone. Later on, I had an iPhone as well. So I realized, okay, there is Google Play, which is pre-installed. There is the iBook store as well, which is Apple Books already. And I just realized that it's, and obviously in the local stores as well, in the different markets, you actually can see that most of the people actually buy their books, even ebooks as well. So that was basically the eye-opening situation, where I could see that there should be definitely a better solution where you can actually sell your books basically with one click to all the different platforms what there are out, because I believe that there should be some kind of independence in this field. And this happened in the music industry as well, and I think it's really important to have this option for self-published authors too.
I love this story because the idea to create self-publishing mastery occurred to me in 2015. I was at the London Book Fair, and I attended one of the lectures given by Mark Dawson and other successful writers. You are familiar with. I know that you recommend Mark Dawson in your blog posts, and I realized this is the way to go in the future. And this is only to get bigger and bigger. So, yeah, here we are today, doing our best to help authors. In the meantime, PublishDrive has crossed the ocean and is now also established in the US.
Yeah, so we basically flipped the company and we moved to the US in terms of our operations as well this year in March, because we could definitely see that most of the authors who signed up came from the US. And we wanted to make sure that we actually can provide them with the best legal environment when it's about copyright. And obviously books are copyright items. So we wanted to make sure that we can give the best legal environment, which is actually the US when it's about that. And we wanted to see and grow in the US market, as we could see that most of the users came from there. But we are very happy that we have this kind of global perspective, and that's how we started, and that's it. It is in our DNA being global and going wide. So that's why we are really proud of that. We have users and authors signed up from more than 50 countries already. So it really shows that there is a big global world. And we really believe that it will be even just bigger and bigger for all the authors who join PublishDrive.
Yeah, because actually the internet allows us to go global, and more and more people around the world are speaking English, even though they are not native speakers. But I think it's over 500 million English speakers around the world. You must have these numbers too.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that many people are reading in English, even though it's their second language. And many people, they don't want to wait for translations being published, because our world is just getting faster in terms of how you consume content. And I can definitely see these kind of trends changing, that most of the authors, they try to publish in English language as well, even though it's not their first language or their native language. And they try to be as smart as possible about their marketing in the different markets as well, to make sure that they understand the needs of the different cultures and of the different people in the different countries. And I think that is one of the things that we can help you, the authors, with PublishDrive.
That's one of the questions of my list. How can an author, let's say an American author, market his or her books, let's say in Hungary, because you also distribute books in Hungary, and we will talk about the 400 distribution outlets you offer to authors.
In overall, we have good partnership with the different stores. So we basically built out a partnership where we can take part in their marketing activities, and we know what they are planning for the year, so we can see their marketing calendar, which enables us to suggest and feature some of the titles what we believe that would be a great fit for the different marketing actions and for the different markets as well. And even with the bigger stores, we have this opportunity. So for instance, with iBooks, we had a great feature this summer for the romance section. One of our authors was featured there with one of her books, and she got 5 times more sales. And during this summertime, getting featured in a romance section is not that easy. So we are really proud that we could actually help the author to shine more, and we try to do that with as many stores as possible. And in the platform itself, you can set different prices for the different markets as well if you want to do that. This is another great tool what you actually can do. We can advise you if you don't know how to price it. So just write an email and we can discuss how should be priced, or what would be the best for you. But it's still, the author is a person who controls in the end of the day what is happening with their book. So we believe that this kind of freedom should be given to the authors, and they should be able to make these decisions.
I think that's what you're doing is great, and getting in touch with the bookstores and getting involved with their marketing. That's a great opportunity. So, how do you pick the authors you suggest to bookstores for their marketing programs?
Mm-hmm. So when a book is uploaded into PublishDrive, we have a book review process built in, which is partly automated and partly manual process. So in the automated part, we have a lot of like automatic checks what we look at, and we even use machine learning and AI to make sure that the content is in the right place. Then on the manual part, we check the copyrights of the books as well. If it is coming from a user who is like a new user, then we validate them as well, just to make sure that they are the right people, because sometimes self-publishing can be blurry in this field. And then obviously when we see the books, we actually can see the quality of the books as well. And on top of that, we can see which category is highlighted in the different stores. And then we can go back to our catalog and see what kind of books were actually in the best categories, what we can use for the different stores. And then we pick based on the quality or based on any special activity if the book is getting. For instance, if they are having a good promotional price, that can be another reason why we should suggest that, because some of the stores, they really like that. Or if it is getting an award, which was recent, for instance, then we actually can do that as well. So these kind of things, if we know about the authors or from the authors, then it definitely can help.
Yeah, and book marketing is something that every author that chooses the self-publishing path should consider learning. If you don't know it, you need to learn it, and there are several ways and you can do it. And even when you go to PublishDrive, you have that amazing blog category where you yourself write very interesting articles with loads of information, tips and tricks on how to be successful with self-publishing, not to mention the free webinars. I know that there is a free webinar coming up on the 19th.
Yeah. We recently started to give webinars or start doing webinars. And the blog is already live for, I think, from the start, basically, because we wanted to make sure that we give as much content and as much knowledge to our authors as much possible. Because obviously we can help in many things, but authors are willing to learn, and they can learn many things to get better. And this is our, as you mentioned, our business model as well, but our main goal to make sure that the authors are getting more successful. And with the webinars, we started it this summer. We have an author coach, author success coach based in Salt Lake City, Adam. And he's actually, he's the host of these webinars, and he helps some of our authors as well to make sure that they can be more successful with their books. And he is a self-published author himself too, and it definitely helps him to get the word out as well about how to be more successful, because he already went through the process. And we try to pick those most important topics for the webinars, which is very much helpful for the authors who actually are just starting out. For instance, how to convert your book. That was the first one. The second one, which is coming out this week, is about the metadata, because this is the thing one I think every author hears that, oh yeah, you should take care about the metadata, but okay, what's metadata and how you can do that? We have a great colleague based in London who was working before with Pottermore, and she's a metadata expert, and she can help on that part, how to do it much wiser. And then there will be a third one, which is about how to go wide, what are the benefits of it, and why you should do that, because that is another area where I can see that most of the authors are getting lost, whether they should do it, and if they are doing it, what is the right time, how they should do that to maximize their royalties. Because obviously, if you want to be a full-time writer, then you have to find the best way to maximize your royalties. And I think that's that's why self-publishing is for, to help the authors become full-time writers as soon as possible.
Yeah, but the first and foremost, the prime condition to do that is to write. To write
Yes.
and write and write. Because if you only have one book, then it's going to be difficult to be a full-time author, self-published one. So
oh yeah, sure. And that's what we try to enhance to our authors as well. That it's great that if you have one book, and it's great if you do a book pub or any kind of other book promotion, but you know, it's usually just a temporary result what it gives. It's much better if you find time to focus on writing more books as fast as possible, because as I mentioned to you before, the people, how the readers, how they consume content is changing, and they are waiting less and less to get new content. And that's why I think it's smart if someone is thinking about self-publishing to have a plan how to release the books and how to write more books as well, and how to find the time to do that. Because obviously, if you are self-publishing, it's very hard to find time to write more and more, because there are so many things what you have to do on the book marketing side and on editing or whatever. So that's why I always say that writing is more like a lonely process where you are alone, because you have to be introverted in this field, but publishing shouldn't be. So you should really find your team, your people, your friends who can help you with that, to make sure that you can focus on the most important part of your work to write more books.
how many books a year do you think should a self-published author write and publish for him to be sustainable as full-time author?
What I can see that the best time is if you release a book, then in a 3 or 4 months time span, you have another book release. So I would say that around 3 books per year could really help you out. So especially if you are writing series, for instance, then you can have smart marketing tools as well with that, like pricing, for instance. You can set the first part of the series for free or a lower price just to build your audience. And then you can, for the next 2 parts of the series, you can actually price it higher. So there are many ways how you can do that. But that is, I think if you can start with releasing a series in a year, like 3 books, that's the smartest way to start out, to make sure that you can actually utilize the best way of publishing the books.
Some people say that it's not even worth marketing, starting marketing before you have those 3 books lined up and ready to go. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's actually a smart way to do, to actually plan ahead, especially if you are a first-time writer and you don't have anything to, you don't have any reader base yet. So I think that's really important to build your author brand as well, and to focus on your characters if you're writing fiction, for instance, because it depends on which category you are writing, but when it's about fiction, people are falling in love with your characters. If you are writing nonfiction, they are falling in love with your expertise as an author. So first of all, you have to decide which direction you want to go, and then you have to make sure that people can fall in love in either with your character or with yourself. And then you have to be active and talk to people, talk to readers, get their feedback. These kind of things are not really scalable, so it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of energy from the author. And that's why it's the best if you can have 3 books already lined up. So you have time to focus on the book marketing part and build the relationship with the key first readers you have, who can actually spread out the word about you. Because other than that, you can just lose focus on writing. So I think it's a smart way to have 3 books lined up and then start the book marketing.
You mentioned several times new trends in reading and the reader's behavior. Can you elaborate on it a little bit? And how you adapted PublishDrive to suit these new trends, this new behavior?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things what we can see, and I mentioned before as well, that readers are trying to get content faster. So that's why if you are on Netflix, for instance, they are releasing the TV shows once. So you basically have the whole season, and then you can watch it basically during one night as well if you are like that kind of savvy person. And it's the same for reading as well. So people are getting a bit impatient when it's about getting the new content. And I think that is the thing, what you can work with other authors as well. Like if you are co-writing books with other authors, or you are trying to build partnership with other authors as well. So you can cross-promote your books to the audience. That can actually help you to make sure that you are trendy and you won't get forgotten by the audience and by the readers. So this is one of the things. The other thing what we can see that many readers are coming from different countries. Like I would say that from English language content, you actually can sell books in China or in whatever countries. And it really shows that there is a room for authors who want to write in English or in maybe in other like bigger languages as well, to extend their sales and to reach out to new readers, because they are hungry for content. So for instance, in China as well, the top selling books are always coming from the Western culture. So they are really hungry for getting the cultures from other areas and other parts of the world. And I think that is something what the author has to have in mind if they are thinking about publishing books. And maybe the third thing is what I can see even more and more, that we started with ebooks and we do ebooks currently, but we definitely can see that there are other ways, other type of formats that people are reading. So it's about like audiobooks as well, print books, and all of them are in line. And this is something what we are already looking at to make sure that we can give the authors the best experience, and obviously to the readers the best books in one place as well. So I think these are the three main areas where I can see that there are a lot of trends which are changing, and we can help the authors to make sure that they are taking part of these changes.
Awesome, thank you. What genres are most successful with your authors so far? Is it the same romance and thriller and mystery? Where do you see the most sales around the world?
Yeah, that's true that romance is unbeatable on this field, I think. But in some cases, it really depends on some seasonal titles as well. When, for instance, when blockchain was very trendy, then on the top 10 best-selling books, we had some cryptocurrency type of books as well. So if there are some trendy topics, what people are searching for, and there is a big like press about that as well, and that if there is a book about it, then obviously it can drive sales a lot. So this is definitely a thing we can see. But in overall, what really works is like the romance, from non-fiction type of books, self-help books are working pretty well. But it's actually depending on the different markets as well. So meanwhile, in the US, fiction is getting more attention. In China or in India, like this educational type of content is going really well, or nonfiction is selling very, very well. So it really depends on the countries as well, because obviously for emerging countries it's a bit different than for the more established markets.
Our viewers should know that I think basically PublishDrive is right now the only platform that offers them the opportunity to reach the Chinese market. Nobody else is doing that. So thank you.
As well. You're welcome.
That's amazing.
We worked hard to provide this for the authors, because we believe that this is a great market to step foot in, and hopefully we even will have more partnerships on the Chinese market, because it's huge. So, and there are like bigger players still there, besides Amazon, so which is great, because Amazon is a great partner, and we can see that they provide a lot of value for our authors and for us as well. But we want to make sure that publishing stays as global, as independent as possible. On the whole ebook publishing market, there are different type of business models how the stores work. So it means that they are basically either pricing differently or paying out a bit differently than the other models. So the agency type of publishing is when the author or the publisher sets the price, and the retail store will not change it. It's usually like iBooks, for instance, and it's basically that if you set it for $9.99, then it will appear in the store $9.99 as well, and then you receive the royalties what is displayed. So that's the basic about agency. Then there is the wholesale model, which shows that the retail store, they have the right to discount the book, but they are still paying out based on the digital list price what you provided. It can get into some issues in the case if you are actually publishing on different platforms and there is a price matching option, because if some of the books have the right to discount, or some of the stores have the right to discount your books, then Amazon may price match and they will discount your book as well. So in the end of the day, you will get royalties. But we actually figured out how to deal with that in a way that your books will not be discounted, or if they are discounted, then they are basically the same price as you set in the platform. So that's what we actually do, because we don't like price matches, and we actually have a contract with all the retail stores that we have to provide them with the same price, which is fair, I think.
Yeah.
And then there is the subscription type of business model, which is, for instance, for Script. It is basically that the end users, the readers, are paying a flat fee for the stores, like $10 per month, for instance, and they are reading either a limited amount of books, or they can read a limited amount of books, or they can read unlimited number of books. And then the author will be paid out based on every read. They have above 10% of the books usually. So if someone read more than 10% from the book, what you published, then you will get the full price. But obviously the royalty, what is displayed as well. And it means that the royalty usually in value is a bit lower, but in the end of the day, because if everyone who actually read more than 10% of your books, the volume will be higher, and then in the end of the day you will get more royalties because the volume is higher. So that is I think it's a very good way for the readers as well to actually explore more books and read more books, and for the authors as well to reach out to new people and to earn more. And there is a library type of business model where the libraries, like institutions, they can be either universities, schools, or public libraries, so different type of library, or even corporate libraries in some cases, are buying the books. And there are different ways how they can buy it. They can buy it for forever. Then there is usually a 3 or 4 times multiple price, and then basically it will be paid out to you as well based on the royalty. Or if they are lending it for a specific time period, then there are different calculations what is used as well based on the length of the lending time. and lending period. So it means that basically the institutions give the right to the readers that they can read the books for a limited time, and then the authors will be paid based on that, how much time they spent on the reading. So yeah, this is the library, and it is actually a very good market as well, especially if you have some niche type of books that they are really going well in institutions too. And these are the things where what I can see as person as well, that many of my acquaintances, they go to different public libraries and they are actually getting their ebooks there as well. So and when it's about reaching out to schools or universities, this is the best way to do that.
Yeah, especially for authors who write children's book, like for children who are already in school. That's always, okay, how can I reach those children? Because, there are not so many ways. So yeah, this is a great one. And so PublishDrive actually gives you the opportunity to reach 240,000 libraries.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Imagine if only, let's say, 50% of these libraries bought your books. So I think that would be something. Distribution is definitely crucial in your success as a self-published author, and that's where PublishDrive comes in and can help you. Some people still ask the question, is self-publishing free?
That's a good question, though.
So, well, it's free to upload your book on PublishDrive.
Yes,
so you don't have any upfront costs.
Yeah, it's free to upload your book, so it's a great opportunity to start out.
Yeah, but before and after, that's a different story, right?
Yeah, it's different because obviously there are some very prolific self-published authors who actually sell a lot, and they prefer paying for services. Meanwhile, who starts out and they are still trying to find their way, providing this no upfront cost type of business model where they don't have to pay anything, just having a revenue share after the net sales. It really shows them a way to grow, and we believe that this is the best way to encourage more people to go into self-publishing. And because obviously many people started like that Iya James, she is called Eureka Leonard, she was starting like that. And we have many other authors in the platform who actually are started out smaller authors, and then they just reach the point where they have more books and they are selling way much more, and they couldn't do that if they couldn't have the possibility to not paying anything up front. So I think it's important.
Yeah, but still you need to consider hiring someone to design a professional book cover, a book editor, and then the hosting for your website, maybe someone to design your website. It doesn't have to be a really complicated, flashy one from the very beginning, but it should look professional. So that it isn't free, because completely free, because self-publishing is a business. So like in any other business, you need to make an investment of time and energy and money, and to be really committed to get results. It's the same with PublishDrive. I mean, you had a vision in 2015, and look where you look at what you achieved so far. I mean, that's amazing, and congratulations, and thank you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, thanks. But without our team, we couldn't do that, and without our authors either. So they are every day. I think I learn something new from our authors and from our team members as well. And I really hope that we actually will do that in the future as well, because we all like learning and solving new problems as well, and that's what we stand for, and that's why we created PublishDrive.
What else should people know about PublishDrive?
I think what most of the authors and even indie publishers like a lot is that we provide very cutting-edge sales analytics in the platform. So basically, if you have real-time sales, you already can see on your dashboard that how many sales you've had in what countries, on what platforms, and you basically can filter based on everything you want to see. So it shows you the big picture as well with consolidated data, but you can filter based on everything you want to see. So I think that is crucial, especially if you are running a marketing campaign, or if you just want to understand what is going on the market and where you are selling and where you have to focus. So it's really important. Then I mentioned that we want to provide like a safe environment for our authors. So the high quality book review process is really important for us. We had many authors switching to our platform from other like distribution platform, and they had some glitches in their books. And yeah, I know in the beginning that it can be a bit, it can hurt the authors that, oh, I have to change something or I have to fix a problem. But in the end of the day, we want to make sure that the quality is the highest, so the reader experience will be the best. And I think that's a mutual goal to achieve. And we actually help on that part as well. So if you don't know how to fix your book in any ways or how to improve it, then we are there and we actually help you. And we have a great support team who actually are really approachable as well, and they are problem solvers too. So they are not just there to answer emails, but they are there to really solve the problems, and it's in our DNA. So with our IT team as well, we always find some new problems we have to solve, and yeah, we want to make sure that the authors feel like that as well, that we are there for them. And we want to make sure that if they are facing with a problem, because problems arise every day, obviously, then we are actually solving them as soon as possible. And yeah, maybe the last thing what I mentioned before as well briefly, that we have marketing opportunities with the different stores. So both on the merchandising part, like featuring the different titles in the stores, or sending those featured titles in marketing emails out as well. But we provide review copies for Google Play, iBooks, and for Kobo, which are protected. So they are DRM protected, and they are free to request as well. And it really helps the authors to actually send out copies to bloggers or to anyone who wants to write or who they think they could write a review for them. And it really helps on the book marketing side, and they are still like protected as well with DRM systems. So it's really important for them as well, I think, to use this option.
Yeah, it is, and that's amazing. And there is also a Facebook group for the authors, and the people there, they are very active, and they are posting loads of interesting and useful content all the time, and it feels like a family. So
yeah, we really hope that more people will join our group there. Actually, last week we had a meetup in New York, which went great. So we had a lot of great questions. It was our second meetup in New York, the third meetup in overall what we organized. But we are planning, and we actually Facebook Lived it, so it is available even in the group and on our website too. And we are planning to do more events as well, and we definitely will Facebook Live them too, because obviously as we have a lot of authors from different countries, not all of them can come, and we want to make sure that they can reach this information, and they can be part of the whole community, even if it is online or in person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me to the show. Bye-bye.
Bye.